Stop lying to yourself. Right now, stop pretending you don't know the truth that's been staring you in the face every morning. You feel it when you wake up, that quiet disgust in your chest that whispers, "You could have been more by now." You scroll, you procrastinate, you justify your comfort. You've built a life of distractions to silence the voice inside that's begging for more. You're not tired. You're avoiding responsibility. You're not lost. You're hiding. You say someday, but every someday has become another day wasted. The Stoics called this self-deception, the most dangerous poison to the human spirit, because when you lie to yourself, you destroy the foundation of strength before it's even built. Marcus Aurelius didn't write his meditations to sound wise. He wrote them to confront his own weakness. He faced himself with brutal honesty. And now it's your turn. Strip away the lies. Look in the mirror and admit what you've become. Not to hate yourself, but to finally start rebuilding. You know that feeling that creeps in when everything goes quiet, when there's no noise, no scrolling, no fake busyness to protect you from yourself. That's the moment when truth knocks. And most people run because facing yourself requires more courage than facing any enemy. You've built walls of distraction to hide from the one person you can't escape. You look in the mirror and pretend to see potential. But what you're really seeing is fear disguised as comfort. You know, you've been settling. You know, you've been playing small. You know that inside you is a version of yourself that terrifies you. Not because it's evil, but because it's powerful. The Stoics said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." You've been a prisoner of your impulses, a servant to your excuses, but the mirror doesn't lie. Every time you look away from your reflection, you choose weakness, stop turning away. Look again. That's not shame you feel, it's a challenge. It's the invitation to rise. The greatest battles you'll ever fight won't be out there. They'll be inside your skull. Every day, two armies clash in silence. Discipline versus desire, courage versus fear, purpose versus comfort. And most people never even realize they're at war. They wake up already defeated because they've surrendered their mind before the day even starts. The Stoics knew this well. They trained their thoughts like warriors, sharpening reason into a blade that could cut through chaos. You, on the other hand, have been letting your mind run wild. It tells you you're not good enough, not ready, not worthy, and you believe it. You feed your enemy by agreeing with it. Every excuse you make is an act of surrender. But what if you flip the script? What if, starting today, you decided that no thought enters your mind without your permission? That's where real power begins. Because when you master your thoughts, you master your world. Control your mind, or it will control you. That voice in your head, the one that always knows how to sound reasonable, that's your enemy. It doesn't scream, it whispers. It says, you deserve a break. It says, you'll start tomorrow. It says, be realistic. And you nod, thinking it's logic, when in truth it's fear wearing a suit. The Stoics warned about this, that the most dangerous opponent is the one who lives inside us and sounds like our friend. That voice feeds you comfort to keep you weak. It praises your potential, but punishes your progress. It reminds you of your past failures, but never your resilience. It makes you believe hesitation is wisdom, when it's really cowardice. And every time you listen, that voice grows stronger, tighter, more familiar. But here's the truth. It's not your voice. It's the echo of everyone who doubted you, laughed at you, told you to stay small. Silence it. Replace its whispers with commands. You are not its servant. You are its master. There comes a moment when change is no longer about growth. It's about survival. You've been living as two people, the one you pretend to be and the one you're meant to become. The Stoics didn't preach soft improvement. They preached inner revolution. Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, they waged war against weakness daily. And now it's your turn. The version of you that makes excuses, delays dreams, and drowns in comfort. That version has to die, not slowly, immediately. Every day you hesitate is another day your weak self wins. The old you feeds on procrastination, comfort, and fear. The new you demands blood, the sacrifice of laziness, the execution of doubt. This is not self-help. This is self-destruction, the deliberate death of mediocrity. Burn your comfort zone. Mourn your excuses. Bury the past version of you with no flowers, no tears, no regret. From its ashes, something new will rise, disciplined, relentless, unbreakable. Comfort is not peace. It's decay wearing perfume. You think comfort means safety, but it's the silent assassin of your potential. every time you choose ease over effort. You trade your power for a temporary illusion of relief. The Stoics saw comfort as a slow death, a poison that dulls the spirit, numbs ambition, and erases hunger. Look around you. The soft life everyone glorifies is nothing but self-imposed imprisonment. The couch becomes a coffin. The screen becomes a leash. The warm bed becomes a battlefield where dreams go to die. Discipline is uncomfortable. Yes, but so is weakness. The difference is one pain leads to growth. The other leads to guilt. You're not tired because life is hard. You're tired because you've lived too long without challenge. Comfort feels good for a moment, but regret lasts forever. So stop chasing what feels easy. Start chasing what makes you evolve. The price of comfort is your strength, and that's a debt you can't afford to keep paying. You think freedom is doing whatever you want. It's not. That's slavery disguised as choice. True freedom is doing what must be done. Even when every cell in your body resists, discipline isn't a cage, it's the key. The Stoics understood this. He who cannot command himself is commanded by everything else. Your impulses, your cravings, your moods, they've been your masters. Discipline is the rebellion against that tyranny. Every time you wake up early when you want to sleep, every time you work when no one's watching, every time you say no to weakness, you earn back a piece of your freedom. Discomfort isn't punishment, it's permission. Permission to grow, to transcend, to break the invisible chains of laziness that have kept you small. You don't build a strong life by chasing what feels good. You build it by doing what is good, especially when it hurts. Discipline is pain sculpted into power. The more you suffer voluntarily, the less you suffer unnecessarily. There are only two kinds of pain you'll ever feel: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. One weighs ounces, the other crushes like stone. Discipline stings for a moment, regret haunts for a lifetime. The Stoics didn't run from pain. They studied it, mastered it, used it. They knew that the discomfort you embrace today becomes the strength you carry tomorrow. But the comfort you cling to now becomes the sorrow you drown in later. Think of every dream you abandoned, every promise you broke to yourself, every "I'll do it tomorrow" that became never. That's the weight of regret, invisible, but heavier than any load you'll ever lift. Pain is temporary. Regret is permanent. So ask yourself, when this day ends, will you feel sore or sorry? Because one builds muscle, the other builds misery. Choose your burden wisely. The pain of effort sharpens your soul. The pain of regret rots it. Your attention is your weapon, and most people have surrendered it without a fight. They scroll, they click, they consume, and they call it living. You are being trained to be distracted, to chase noise instead of mastery. The Stoics called attention the guardian of the soul. Whatever you give your focus to, you become. So what are you becoming? A collector of cheap pleasures, or a creator of something immortal? Every notification steals a second of your life. Every mindless habit robs you of clarity. You can't win the war of life if your sword, your focus, is dull. Attention is not a resource. It's your life energy condensed into a moment. Protect it with your existence. Be ruthless about what you allow into your mind. Train like a gladiator in the arena of distraction. When your mind tries to wander, pull it back like a warrior reclaiming his blade. Command your focus, or watch your potential bleed out in silence. Epictetus began life in chains, a man beaten, owned, and silenced. Yet he became freer than his masters because he mastered the one thing no one could take from him, his mind. He realized the essence of Stoicism. You cannot always control what happens, but you can always control your response. That truth broke his chains. You, too, have been enslaved, not by iron, but by hesitation, comfort, fear, and opinion. You say you want freedom, but you live like a captive of your emotions. Freedom is not granted. It's earned through inner control. When you stop reacting to everything and start responding with intention, you become untouchable. Epictetus didn't wait for better circumstances. He built strength inside the worst of them. That's your task now. Your weakness isn't your enemy, your lack of discipline is. Rule your mind, or it will rule you. That's not philosophy. That's survival. Every minute you delay action, something inside you dies. Not dramatically, quietly, one hesitation at a time. That's how potential turns to dust. The graveyards are full of people who said, someday. They thought they had time, but time never thought about them. The Stoics warned that procrastination is the theft of life. You think you're safe because you're planning, preparing, getting ready. But that's the sweetest lie weakness tells. You don't need more time. You need more courage. Every day you wait for the perfect moment. Someone else is building the life you dream about. Every dream you postpone becomes a regret waiting for its turn. The tragedy isn't that you failed, it's that you never started. The universe doesn't reward intention. It rewards execution. Stop waiting for confidence. Stop waiting for signs. Stop waiting for tomorrow. Move now, while you still have breath in your lungs and fire in your soul. Your mind is a genius at manufacturing excuses. It takes fear, dresses it in logic, and sells it to you as wisdom. I'm not ready. It's not the right time. I need more clarity. Sound familiar? That's not intelligence speaking. That's fear in disguise. The Stoics taught that the greatest obstacle to living is expectation, waiting for a future that never comes. Every excuse feels smart in the moment because it protects your ego from failure. But in truth, every excuse is a tiny surrender. You say you fear losing, but what you're really afraid of is trying and discovering who you actually are. Fear is persuasive. It pretends to protect you, but all it does is confine you. The solution isn't to argue with your excuses, it's to ignore them and act. Action exposes fear for what it is. Noise. Once you move, the illusion breaks. The Stoics didn't theorize about courage. They proved it through movement. So should you. Pain isn't your punishment. It's your purification. The weak run from it, but the wise use it. The Stoics understood that struggle is the furnace where strength is forged. You can't sculpt a warrior out of comfort. You need resistance, heat, and pressure. Every difficulty in your life is the universe shaping you, carving away your softness, exposing your true form. You keep asking for an easier path, but that's not what you need. You need the friction that sharpens your spirit. Stop calling it suffering. Start calling it training. Pain isn't a signal to quit. It's the proof that transformation is happening. The fire that burns you is the same fire that refines gold. Every tear, every rejection, every moment of loneliness is a hammer, striking your soul into form. The Stoics didn't ask, "Why me?" They asked, "How can this make me stronger?" You can't escape the fire, but you can become something indestructible inside it. Everything that tries to stop you can be turned into fuel, if you choose the right perspective. The Stoics called it amor fati, love of fate. It means embracing everything that happens, not as punishment, but as preparation. Every setback is raw material, every rejection, a lesson, every loss, a weapon in disguise. The weak see obstacles and shrink, the strong see obstacles and sharpen. You've been conditioned to fear difficulty, but difficulty is what forges destiny. Marcus Aurelius said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." That's not poetry, it's a manual for domination. The obstacle in your path is your path. The person who betrayed you taught you trust in yourself. The failure that broke you taught you endurance. The pain that crushed you taught you depth. Stop cursing what's hard. Start using it. Alchemy isn't turning metal into gold. It's turning adversity into strength. You don't escape the obstacle. You become greater because of it. Every day you wake up standing at a crossroads, act or decay. There is no middle ground. Growth and rot cannot coexist. The Stoics knew this, that life is motion, and stagnation is death in disguise. You tell yourself you're waiting for the right moment, but that's a lie. Your comfort tells to keep you still. Action is not about readiness, it's about necessity. You act because you must, not because you feel like it. Every moment of hesitation is a small surrender to decay. Every time you choose distraction over discipline, your spirit withers a little more. The warrior doesn't wait for motivation. He moves through resistance. He understands that inaction is the most dangerous addiction. You're either building momentum or burying it. The choice is yours, and it's made every hour. Either you rise and fight for your future, or you slowly rot in the warmth of your excuses. The Stoics acted, the cowards talked. Decide who you are. Everything in your life is your reflection, your results, your failures, your peace, your chaos. You created it. The Stoics taught that we suffer not from events, but from our judgments about them. Yet most people spend their lives pointing fingers at parents, politics, fate, anything but themselves. But here's the unbreakable law. The moment you stop blaming, you start building. Ownership is the ultimate power. When you own your mistakes, you gain control over them. When you own your pain, you learn from it. When you own your circumstances, you find the leverage to change them. Blame is emotional poverty. It keeps you broke in spirit. Taking responsibility is wealth. It multiplies strength, clarity, and courage. Epictetus was born a slave, yet he owned his mind so completely that no master could touch him. You don't need control over the world. You need control over yourself. The second you claim ownership, your freedom begins. Blame is the comfort food of the weak. It tastes good for a moment, but it starves your potential. The second you point your finger outward, you hand away your power. The Stoics understood this deeply. They refused to waste energy on what they couldn't control. Blame is emotional debt that never gets paid. Ownership is the currency of freedom. Every excuse you make is a confession that you've stopped trying. Every time you say they did this to me, you're building a cage around your own growth. Life isn't fair. It's never been. And yet, that's where greatness is born. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." When you stop blaming, life stops being your enemy and starts becoming your teacher. The moment your excuses die, your power is resurrected. You can't change the past, but you can rewrite its meaning. That's real control. That's Stoic strength. There's a sleeping lion inside you, fierce, focused, untamed, but you've kept it locked behind manners, fears, and false humility. You were born with hunger, but you've been trained to be tame. The Stoics never confused calm with weakness. They practiced stillness on the outside, but inside they were fire, disciplined, controlled power ready to strike when purpose demanded. You've mistaken passivity for peace, but peace without strength is surrender. The lion within you doesn't roar for attention. It waits for alignment. It knows when to strike, when to endure, when to lead. The world respects the one who commands himself first. Stop apologizing for your ambition. Stop shrinking to make the weak feel comfortable. You are not meant to blend in with the herd. You are meant to awaken the lion, to reclaim your primal dominance, to rule your mind, your emotions, your path. The Stoic lion moves in silence, but when it moves, the world trembles. Your reaction is your weapon, or your weakness. Most people lose battles they could have won simply because they couldn't control their emotions. Anger, fear, frustration, they swing wildly, striking everything except the problem. The Stoics carried a sword sharper than any blade. Composure. They learned that emotional control isn't suppression, it's strategy. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire through chaos because he mastered one law. You have power over your mind, not outside events. You can't always choose what happens, but you can always choose your stance. That choice determines whether you rise or fall. The weak explode, the strong breathe. The weak react, the strong respond. Every insult, every delay, every setback is a chance to draw your Stoic sword, not to fight others, but to discipline yourself. When you control your reaction, you disarm chaos. The calm mind cuts deepest. Master this, and nothing outside you can ever control you again. You are dying, slowly, silently, inevitably. Every sunrise is one less you'll see. The Stoics didn't run from this truth. They embraced it. Memento mori, remember, you must die, not to fill you with fear, but with fire, because when you remember death, you stop wasting time pretending you have forever. Look around. People live like immortals, as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if opportunity will knock again. It won't. Death is not your enemy. Forgetfulness is. Forgetting that your time is limited makes you careless with your minutes, lazy with your purpose, soft with your effort. Marcus Aurelius kept death close as a mirror, every decision measured against his mortality. If you died tonight, could you say you lived with conviction today? That's the question that cuts through all excuses. You don't have time to delay your destiny. Death is watching. Let that awareness not paralyze you, but ignite you. Every second you waste is a second gone forever. Time isn't money, it's blood. You can earn back $1, but not a moment. The Stoics understood that urgency isn't about rushing, it's about reverence. To live urgently means to treat every breath like it matters, because it does. Most people drift through their days half awake, as if they've been promised another chance to start living. You haven't. You could die before this day ends. And yet you scroll, you complain, you delay. That's not living. That's waiting to die slowly. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." You can't control the length of your life, but you can control its depth. Every action done with intention adds weight to your existence. Every moment wasted on nothing erases a piece of who you are. Live like time is watching, because it is. Your greatest enemy isn't failure, rejection, or even pain. It's your own mind when left unguarded. The Stoics called it the untrained mind. a wild beast that devours peace and breeds fear. Every anxious thought, every hesitation, every spiral of doubt. They don't come from the world, they come from within. You've been feeding your fears with attention, replaying worst-case scenarios until they've become your identity. Fear isn't a sign of danger, it's a sign of imagination without discipline. Marcus Aurelius said, "Today I escaped anxiety." Or no, I discarded it, for it was within me. You don't overcome fear by waiting for courage. You overcome it by starving it of focus. Fear lives on reaction. Silence kills it. When you stop obeying your anxious thoughts, they lose their throne. The mind can be your greatest fortress or your cruelest prison. Train it daily. Command it ruthlessly. Make it your ally, not your master. Every challenge you face is not punishment, it's preparation. Life is a training ground, not a comfort zone. The Stoics woke each morning expecting difficulty. Not resenting it, they knew that hardship was the forge of character. The testing ground for virtue. You say you want to be strong, disciplined, fearless, but how can that happen without resistance? The gym doesn't build you unless it hurts. The mind doesn't sharpen unless it's stretched. The soul doesn't evolve unless it suffers with purpose. Every obstacle is a rep for your spirit. Every moment you push when it's hard, you add armor to your mind. The weak avoid the struggle and remain soft forever. The wise embrace it and become immortal in strength and legacy. Marcus Aurelius didn't seek comfort, he sought fortitude. Remember this, each day is training for the moment life truly tests you. Don't skip your practice. The gods notice who trains. To be unbreakable doesn't mean life won't hit you. It means nothing. Its throws can destroy your center. The Stoics built minds of iron through repetition, reflection, and restraint. They didn't chase happiness, they forged resilience. You, too, must harden your mind through consistent exposure to discomfort. Stop running from difficulty and start using it as a sharpening stone. Every setback can either bend you or build you, your choice. The mind becomes what it practices. If you practice complaint, you become fragile. If you practice endurance, you become indestructible. Marcus Aurelius compared the strong mind to a rock struck by waves. It stands firm, and the storm rests around it. That's who you must become. Not numb, but immovable, not cold, but composed. The world will never stop testing you. But that's the point. An untested mind is unproven steel. The iron mind doesn't hope for easy days. It prepares for hard ones. The person you used to be is gone, or at least they should be the weak, hesitant version of you that made excuses, delayed dreams, and lived half awake has no place in the life you're building now. Transformation isn't about adding something new. It's about burning away everything false. The Stoics called it renewal, dying each day to the weaker parts of yourself. Every sunrise is a funeral for who you were yesterday. If you choose to make it one, let go of the habits that chained you. Let go of the stories that kept you small. The old you feared judgment. It needed validation and sought comfort. The new you acts without permission. You no longer ask, "Can I?" You declare, "I will." Bury your past self with honor, but don't mourn. That death is liberation. When the smoke clears, you'll stand where weakness once stood, calm, unshakable, forged in discipline. The transformation isn't coming. It's already happening. Right now, this is the moment. The ashes have settled. The lies are gone, and the weaker you has been buried. What stands here now is not the same person who started this journey. You are harder, wiser, calmer, a weapon forged by truth and trial. The Stoics believed rebirth happens not once in life, but every day we choose strength over surrender. Today is your rebirth. No more waiting, no more hiding behind someday. You've seen what comfort costs, what excuses steal, what discipline demands. Now you swear this oath: I will not return to weakness. I will not negotiate with fear. I will not betray my potential. You are no longer chasing motivation. You are powered by purpose. No more spectatorship. No more self-pity. This is your declaration of war against every limitation that ever held you down. Rise with silence. Move with intention. Live with power. From this day forward, the weak you is dead, and the indestructible you walks free. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you refuses to die. That part of you that still hungers for strength, for truth, for mastery. This isn't just another motivational video. It's a mirror, and if it spoke to you, it's because you recognized yourself in its reflection. The weak version of you is gone now, but staying strong requires daily work, daily discipline, daily awareness, daily courage. So start today. Don't let this be another moment that fades when the screen goes dark. Act on it. Change one thing: your habits, your focus, your routine, and watch the ripple expand through your life. I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what truth hit you the hardest today, or what weakness you're ready to destroy. Your story might be the fire someone else needs to begin. If this message spoke to you, gently like the video, share it with someone who needs to rise. And subscribe so we can walk this Stoic path together. One day, one discipline, one truth at a time. Thank you for listening. YouTube channel, Stoic Motivation.